Have either of you guys cursed on camera by accident?
Okay. In the old days, the first few years of the show was live to tape. So we taped at 10 a.m. and then it aired at 4.
Okay.
And I remember us having to go back through a couple segments because we're like, I think I heard. And so we'd have to sit there and listen.
Somebody muttered.
Yeah, and bleep out, which always made it worse, but you can't put a curse word on.
Yeah.
But I think that's it. I don't think we've ever had a live curse word.
No.
What's going on, Sarasota? We are back with episode number 119. As always, my name is Brad Hannon.
Trey Martell.
Felipe Colon.
And we've got some special guests. We've got the co-hosts from the Suncoast View. We've got Joey and Stephanie. How you guys doing today?
Good to see you.
Great.
So I asked jokingly ahead of time, you guys nervous? Because, we're on camera and everything. Most guests are nervous, but obviously this is pretty natural for y'all.
It's funny, I think. Well, I don't think we're nervous, but
it's different.
We're usually in the driver's seat.
Yeah, we're usually in control, the way we prefer it.
Yeah, sure.
So we're going to give it to you.
So to start then, I'm going to pass it off to you. Go ahead. You guys are in control. What are you going to do?
We're going to start making things up.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about how we want to. We want to be in a cool room like this. And,
I'm kidding.
I know we are already admiring your studio.
Well, listen, I caught the pre-show. Unlike Felipe, who walked out in the pre-show, I really appreciate the pre-show. We pick on Felipe every now and again, so that's just
you can call it picking on. I'll call it listen. I'm a good sport.
There you go. I'm just saying you did miss a great pre-show because we have more in common than I think we do. The opposite of that, right? We both are shining a light on our community in a way that really rewards us greatly, right? So you had both mentioned, the hidden gem, or you'd mentioned, Joey, the hidden gem is kind of discovering all of these kind of unknown secrets. So I'm hoping that we can dive right in and start to unpack some of those and then back into how did you guys get into the role? So, lately, just in the last couple months, we've had a lot of nonprofits, a lot of, great entrepreneurs. And I know that you guys do too. Just over the past few months, who's standing out to you as kind of the most, the best guest, the best hidden gem, the best maybe restaurant, things like that? Let's unpack some of the special guests you guys have had on.
Ooh, that's hard to think. I need to look at our calendar.
I know, yeah.
You may as well give us an overview of kind of what Suncoast View is for the few people who may not know.
Yeah,
fair.
We're an hour-long daytime talk show. It was we're just celebrated our 11th anniversary. The show was built to model the View, the ABC corporate View, and it started that way, but then it's kind of morphed away from that because that leans more into political topics, and we lean away from that and more into local community, all things that are a part of the Suncoast.
Sure. Now, why do you lean away from the political stuff? Because everybody knows that drama sells. Right?
Yeah, but not local drama. Like, I live here. I don't want people harassing me. And if you go into any of the topics now, you're pissing everybody off at some point. Because you either like what we're saying, like, why take away half your audience right off the bat? Like half of it's going to be mad at me.
Was it Michael Jordan that once said that even Republicans buy sneakers?
That's sure. That's the same concept.
I think it was Mike Whalen who said Republicans, Democrats both buy chicken wings and beer.
See, we want to promote the chicken wings and beer because that's I feel like, and I think we've all experienced this in the last year or beyond. You can't avoid those divisive topics when you open your phone or turn on the TV or the radio or wherever you're listening. And it almost feels like that's the low-hanging fruit these days. And I think something Stephanie and I are both proud of is that we have really managed to stay away from capital P politics. We were doing like lowercase p politics, which is,
we still are. The bear hunt's up tomorrow.
Yeah.
A lot of people are mad about this Florida bear hunt. They really are.
Do explain.
Here's your teaser for tomorrow's show. 172,000 people registered for bear permits. Guess how many they're giving out?
75.
Like 160. Yeah. So why did 172,000 people register to shoot bears?
Because they wanted an opportunity to
because Sierra Club was begging everybody that doesn't want you to shoot bears to register anyway to take a shot from someone who will fake it and actually not kill a bear.
Oh.
Wow. It's kind of messed up. Kind of best.
So it was like a tree. It's like a tree hugger takeover.
See? Now, would I normally have learned all of this? No. So I have kind of a cool job, and I enjoy watching everybody be surprised.
He did just write an amazing lower third, the tree hugger takeover. We
That
love
is good.
alliteration.
I think I went unbearable spelled bee. Yeah.
But see, I'm jealous because you had said before that you have your morning show and then you get to research all day. Like that's your job is finding what's going on in the community. And in a way, I wish I could research all day what's going on in the community because I get to learn so much from doing the show.
Absolutely.
But we don't spend. I mean, EDub, got to give him credit, does majority of the research for our guests and all of that because we have full-time, businesses or jobs. And that's just, it's an awesome thing. And it's kind of the giver's gain, right? We started this podcast and what I didn't ever realize is that we were going to get far more than we give. We're learning like front row seat to all of this. And so it's just really exciting. But
I'm a little jealous because I love in the podcast format, you can really dive into topics and really go deep with people. And on our show, like our segments are either 5 minutes or 3 minutes or 7 minutes. And it's proven, at least for me over the last decade, the hardest part is to like drill down and find the things in those 3 minutes so that you don't get into the real good stuff in the last 30 seconds. Then we're like, sorry, we got to go to commercial.
When you guys film, do you film live?
Yeah.
You do. So you do. How do you time the segments? So you're like, do you have a ticking clock over
We've
there,
got
like a producer going?
Producer in our ear.
Got
It's
it.
IFB Full TV. And, I have a different take than Joey does because I came up through news. So to me, 3, 5, and 7 minutes is an eternity because I can turn a 90-second package and give you the whole story because I'm a news reporter.
Right.
So to me, this is a way more relaxed format, what we're doing versus the news. But no, everything's very carefully timed. I can feel 30 seconds without any problem. At this point, I can feel 5 minutes.
I've also heard that you guys, like you were saying, you do a lot of your own journalism. You don't have it's not like you're talking heads where you just say what's written. You have to actually do all the research as well.
We do all our own
and come up
research
with
and all our own writing. Every bit of
I think that's a lot more than what people think. Your job is.
Oh yeah, and you know this from your own show. The people that come on your show are experts in their own field, but not necessarily in storytelling or we
know that all too well.
You got to pull it out.
And the worst thing, I feel like the worst thing that we can do is put them on the couch and not lift them up and like lead them to where they have to go.
Right.
Sure.
You know what surprises me, and this might be the same for you guys. You kind of like look at the list of the people that are going to come on. You're like, this one might be a dud, and then they turn out to be great.
Oh yeah,
and the exact
Can you give us some
opposite.
examples, Trey?
Well, I'll give you the one I'm thinking of. The guy that does the security. You weren't here. You were in Napa or wherever the hell you were. And
Napa.
I was like,
Business
man,
conference,
he
right.
does like security cameras and smart homes. And then we just went right down the rabbit hole to AI the whole time. It was very interesting. And he had some other stuff in his life that was
I have his
super
pamphlet on my desk, so it was interesting.
Yeah, it was
stuff.
good. It was a good
For me,
one.
it was the pest control guy. I never thought that would go where it went, and it was great.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
All you need.
There you
Those
go.
are the greatest though, right? Although sometimes then you're giving an eye to the producer in the one camera that's not live, and you're like, can we go longer?
Yeah.
This is going well.
That's just the beautiful thing, though. We're not live, and we can kind of redo it. I had to do the first cut
Depending on
twice.
whether or not Brad has coaching baseball to get to. That's our one stipulation.
I took the fall season off, but I gotta ask you kind of a pointed question because you're sitting here at a table for the podcast, but in your studio you're sitting on a couch. My argument is that we need couch and chairs, like we need a more relaxed setting. Trey's like, I don't want to sit in a chair.
I don't like my legs showing. I get too fidgety with my legs, I think, and I start bouncing my knee.
People definitely don't sit well on a couch.
Yeah, you got to sit on the edge. You got to sit up straight.
And they forget. Sometimes they slouch. We get some man spreading.
Yeah.
The guy that lays down
That's
and
what
goes
Trey's
like
doing.
this.
Flesh tone thigh sticking out.
Yeah, we definitely have some issues.
That was Felipe's mother's
preference.
critique of the couches.
So now that you're sitting at the podcast studio or table, preference, couch and chair or?
we had a table with chairs and I wanted a couch so badly. And then when we got a couch, I missed the table.
I like the couch.
Because you just show up more
All right, so it's
here.
50-50.
Oh, I see what you mean. I like the couch. I think the guests like the couch.
Yeah. It's but for the reason you said, like I felt bad. There was someone on the show in the last year that I didn't tell them to sit up and they were fine. Their interview was great, but they did. They were man-spreading and I thought, and I spent the whole interview going, I should have told them.
Well, Well, it's fun, and it's cool to hear both sides of it, and live versus recorded, and table versus couch and chairs. But ultimately, like I said, we're doing some very similar things for the community. One of the things that we didn't expect that we've uncovered is the arts, right? And so I know that you had mentioned the arts is kind of one of your main attractions with the show, and having them on. I would say credit to Felipe on that. See, I give and take. I give him a compliment on that too. He's
sometimes
got a lot
with the front of his hand too.
He's got a lot of great guests on from the arts community, and that's something that growing up here, I never even realized that we have such a diverse arts community. So, what is your kind of go-to show in the community, go-to show or display or things like that?
I tend to go toward the theater because I was a stage actor. But we have incredible orchestra and ballet and opera, but the theater is really kind of mine. And we employ so many people, and the number of people that are in higher positions here in our community that came here as performers for a contract or two and then stayed is incredible. So, I mean, the arts bring in so many people. It's one of the biggest employers we have, industries here on the Suncoast. I just love it. And I think it's what separates us from our neighbors directly to the north and south. We all have great beaches, but we have something to do when you get off the beach.
And the amount of professional theaters that are resident here, people don't realize that. And not every city has that.
Right.
And we're not exactly a huge city, but we have more professional theaters than most bigger cities.
And now we have a professional sports team with Sarasota Paradise.
Absolutely.
That's exciting stuff.
Absolutely.
I'm a big fan of those soccer games, by the way. They're a great time. If you haven't been, I don't even watch soccer, don't even know the rules completely. Go to those games with the kids. It's an absolute blast.
They're out at Premier Sports. Is that where they're playing?
Premier Sports, yeah. So,
and what's cool is when those people come, and I've probably said this so many times on our show, but when those families are in town, or the players' families, or whatever, all the people come to watch, they got to go somewhere to eat. They got to go somewhere to shop. Sure. They got to find something else to do. So our entire community benefits from all these.
Are they in season right now?
No, they start in March to October. I said it should be October to March, really, but March to October works. Yeah. It's okay. They're going to have some seats that have AC now and stuff, so they're elevating the experience. But that's for a different podcast. We'll stay on the Suncoast View.
To kind of piggyback on Brad's question, are there any other trends, types of guests that you see more often than others? Like what's your bread and butter on the show? Things that you may notice about the Suncoast that other people don't, being in your position?
Small business owners, don't you feel like whether they own restaurants or they have services like stores and gift stores and stuff, or
a clothing company. The I can't remember her name right now. Bella just was on your show the other day. She designs her own
Ghosts.
Ghosts in Fashion.
Ghosts in
Saw her a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great example. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she's just doing that on the side, and she's got a great thing going, and I love that you guys are doing that, and that's kind of the heartbeat of our community, right? We don't have big corporations, we don't have manufacturers, we don't have it's more of a small business based community, and that's what we've kind of uncovered as well, is just talking to these business owners and understanding their hearts for the community is a beautiful thing, but it wasn't always like that. For me, growing up here, hated this place until I got away and then fell in love with the place. So I'll tie that into how long have you guys been in Sarasota and what brought you here if you weren't born and raised?
You first. You longer.
25 years, I think. I first came down in 99 to work at a theater. I was coming from New York, and I took a contract at a theater down here, and then did a couple shows, went back up north, did that for a few years, came down, did contracts, went back.
You're like a theater snowbird.
Yeah. I was at 20.
And that happens a lot. You know, a theater contract at FST or, Oslo may only be a few months, but then they were like, okay, that was kind of amazing to be down there. Yeah. So then they auditioned for the next show to try to get back down here.
And to Stephanie's point earlier, there are so many professional theaters here on the Suncoast that it became, I thought, all right, well, I'm working down there so much, I'm just going to make that my home. And then I can use this as my home base to go to other St. Pete, Jacksonville, Orlando, all the others. But and then I've stayed.
And now you're still kind of in theater.
Yeah.
He still is very much in theater. He did a show with FST.
Yeah, I retired from the stage to go on to TV, but then have put my foot back.
It's pulling you back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he definitely. Yeah. It's great when he does it.
What about you?
I actually worked in Tampa television for many, many years, and then got to the point where I kind of was done with what I wanted to do there, and had worked in numerous stations there, and kind of took a job here in morning news just for the heck of it to figure out what I wanted to do next. And then they launched Suncoast View and asked me to do it. And quite honestly, in the beginning, it was a good way to get out of morning news because that's really flipping early. So, and I had done that for years and years and years, and just knew I was done trying to get up at that hour. My kids were older; it wasn't working, and these were daytime hours. I'm like, we'll see how it goes. And that was 11 years ago. So,
tell us what's early for the folks at home who may want to pursue a career doing what you do.
If you're going to do morning news, you're getting up at 2:45 in the morning. That's a whole different ballgame. We actually have what I consider an amazing schedule. Some people still think it's pretty early. We're usually in the office right around 7. We're heavy on the first half of our day because we're live in the 9 o'clock hour, and then we work backwards. Then we do some taped segments. We start working on the next day. We do all our booking, but we have a pretty good crunch time every morning because that first 15 minutes we do is the closest thing to what's late breaking and happening.
Sure.
You know, we'll talk sports. Joey is a professed non-sports watcher, so if something fun happened the night before on a field that I feel he should know about, I'll tell him. I'll update him. So we try to keep it current.
Do you guys have, our sort of dynamics are Felipe is the intellect, right? There's a lot of things that are said on to this side of the table, from that side of the table, that we need explanation, and we look to Felipe. He's also, because he's the smart one, the butt of some of our jokes, not all of them, but some. And then you've got, the roofing contractor with a backwards hat always has the same outfit, and the insurance guy. I don't know. I won't label myself. I'll let them do that. But what are your dynamics? Like, how do those work?
We play good cop, bad cop most of the time. Like, even in all of our conversations and everything. Well, you figure it out. You figure it out.
I was waiting for
it
that.
varies. The hat has.
I don't know. Nice. I was going to say he's the nice one. I think we all know that.
There was a stretch of years where you got to be the good cop. I had to be the bad cop. The third musketeer that has to be mentioned is Linda Carson.
Of course.
Who is
legend.
And that's part of the show. She's the legend. Yeah. No matter what we talk about.
Can I be the legend?
She has a story.
Yeah, not so much.
Got a few more years.
You can be the old one if you want. The older experienced one.
Statesman.
Yeah. She has the knowledge of living here the longest and having covered Sarasota news the longest, and then also being in the news business the longest, and then also because she was married to Bud Carson, NFL coach, living everywhere in the country.
Yeah, she's lived everywhere.
Traveling and her
knows
career,
everybody.
she's like Forrest Gump. Her career has touched every celebrity or aspect of life or industry. Somebody will mention, someone will make national headlines and she'll go, "Oh, I once had to hang out with him in a hotel room while we were waiting for a live shot or something." We're like, "What?
Oh my gosh, I'm going to shoot him a text."
Yeah, exactly. Anytime, I hate to say it now, but anytime anybody dies, our boss leaves his head out and goes, "Anybody ask Linda? She knew him?" Like Robert Redford is the one that just came to mind.
Did she?
She did not, but she has known many of the rest of them.
I'm sure Hulk Hogan.
So yes,
it's incredible.
Yeah.
So we all kind of fall into it. I think we're all three of us, certainly when the show started, and for the bulk of the years, have been at very different parts of our lives as far as what we're doing. Linda is in her golden years and deciding not to retire and represent so many of our viewers, right? Because we've got a really active older population here. And Stephanie was raising a family, a blended family with so many kids.
So many. What's so many?
I have 5.
Okay.
And they're also all
so
athletes.
That's a lot.
So many starts at 5, in my opinion.
All right.
I only have 2, so I can't really speak.
I have none, so they're both a lot.
Yeah.
I hear you.
All athletes. So you're like a shuttle bus service.
At the moment, I've got them all playing college sports. So
Nice.
I had a huge bulk of time where my whole life was, where are you at night? And it wasn't in Sarasota, because I actually lived in Tampa during all of this.
Wow.
I do now live in Sarasota, but there was a lot of commuting, a lot of weekends spent. But those are our viewers. That's a huge part of our audience is young families, shuttling kids, worried about money and busy food and all the things.
I think your show is great to flip on for something in the background, just something to listen to. It's positive, upbeat. You're not going to hear politics. You're not going to hear, like you said, the capital P politics. You're not going to hear a lot of issues. And, the news can be a pretty depressing thing to watch a lot of times. And so I think most people are just probably happy with the fact that they get to watch something that is really putting a spotlight in a positive manner on our community. But one thing that you guys pointed out that I wanted to just kind of jump on real quick is you guys producing your own show and writing your own notes and all of these things, like that leaves you ultimately responsible for the success or the failures of your shows.
100%.
So tell us a story or think about a time that maybe a segment or something flopped or went bad, because live television has got to be fairly difficult.
I mean, we really have gotten into very little trouble, which is kind of amazing.
I mean,
no viral YouTube moments.
Dancing.
I don't know. Isn't this funny? Of everything that we've done in 11 years, it was hula dancing got us into the most trouble. And to the point where if someone pitches a hula, we have done a hula segment since.
Right.
What it was a group of retired ladies, very sweet ladies, that were doing this movement class, and they taught hula. I think.
Are we talking about the hoops?
Yeah.
Hula, as in
no. Like hula, like a Hawaiian.
Oh, like Hawaiian,
okay.
Polynesian.
Yes.
No
Yeah.
hoops. No hoops.
We have had a hula hoop around them, so that's a good question.
I don't remember getting in trouble for that.
I thought it was a great segment. We did it, and it aired, and I thought it was a positive segment. It fell into a group somewhere on Facebook, and we got called out, and whether or not we should have or not, but no one that taught it was of Hawaiian.
So like cultural appropriation
Correct.
kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
I thought the ladies
I
had
didn't think it was
addressed.
warranted.
I had thought the ladies had addressed it, you know,
Yeah.
in that this is a movement that one can do even if you have limitations in your body or have to take modifications or injuries. And we got flooded with hate mail. And I was like, of all the things we've ever talked about.
Well,
So
hopefully don't
we did
restart
do a
the
hula
emails.
segment again, a Hawaiian dance segment again with a couple that was Polynesian, and
Totally
and I told
redeemed
them, I was
yourselves.
like, who's coming? Is it? Are you? Can you teach this?
But I mean, those are good learning curve lessons for everybody. You know,
Yeah.
we are extraordinarily careful. We trade back probably who's a little more conservative, and it never used to be me, but now I'm dreading getting in trouble about anything. So
Conservative small c.
Yes, conservative small c, as in more willing to take a fun risk on TV. But we do; it's collaborative. The entire show is collaborative between us and Linda and another producer.
Have
that's
either of
the-
you guys cursed on camera by accident?
Okay, in the old days, the first few years of the show was live to tape, so we taped at 10 a.m. and then it aired at 4.
Okay.
And I remember us having to go back through a couple segments because we're like, I think I heard, and so we'd have to sit there and listen.
Somebody muttered.
Yeah, and bleep out, which always made it worse, but you can't put a curse word on.
Yeah.
But I think that's it. I don't think we've ever had a live curse word.
No. So I
never-
swear like
Which
a
I
sailor
can't
all the
believe.
time. Yeah, I swear like a sailor all the time. But I've been in television for 30 years.
Yeah, you got it
So
down.
you just
Getting up at 2 a.m, so
You-
I'd
right,
probably be
that-
swearing too.
it's a mental thing. It's a
Sure.
yeah.
I'd be bad
But
at that.
that's you guys as the professionals. Has a guest ever run off the stage, got sick?
I don't think they're ever relaxed enough to swear. We did have a co-host barf.
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Beth barfed.
And we saw that was your line.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
won't
right.
clean up,
That's the part he thought was so funny is that I can handle absolutely everything, but I don't do barf. Yeah. No. She started to spew and I was out. I'm like, nope, I'm not staying around for this.
Your babies are in
My
college.
producer
now.
might have to leave the room. He can't even hear the word.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Poop I got, but I don't do barf.
He doesn't do poop either. He'll start
Poop's worse
gagging
for
literally.
sure.
You might see barf if we keep talking about poop or barf.
We have cleaned up a lot of animal
Excrement.
excrements over
Yeah,
the
camels
years.
pee, and an
We've learned a
alarming
lot about
amount.
camels' bladders. Yeah.
Yeah. We enjoy animals and having them defecate in the studio. We think that's very fun.
Well, you're not janitors. So that's good.
No, but there aren't any. I mean, we are. We clean it up.
So you're the research and the cleanup crew.
Oh, yeah. It is. There's nothing glamorous about our
Yeah, the
life.
news business is lean and mean, right?
Oh,
You
dude,
guys
I
are
do
doing a
dishes
lot with a
after
little.
Wind Down Wednesday. Every
incredible.
Wind Down Wednesday, I'm washing your dishes.
What's Wind Down Wednesday?
Wind Down Wednesday is when the ladies get together on Wednesdays, sponsored by the very great Sarasota Manatee Originals. Thank you. So they sponsor the show. We always have one of our original restaurants, and one of the asks by the restaurants is that you will bring us a bottle of wine, which we will then open at the top of the show. To
Not a problem, huh?
Cheers, not a problem. So that we will
901.
cheers.
Yes.
Yeah, 901's a great time to drink. We will cheers to the Sarasota Manatee Originals, to food editors from in town join us. Nikki Logan Curran from the Scout Guide and one of the original board members, and Tracy Freeman, who is the editor of Edible Sarasota. And the community has learned that Wednesdays are different because the four ladies are drinking wine. We keep the topics light. Today we discussed how often one should wash their pajamas. Do you really wear pajamas? You know, those
Nobody wears
really
pajamas.
important things. I wear pajamas.
Do you
Thank
really?
very much.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
I won't even ask you
was
what
a good
kind of
one.
pajamas, but
They're
hopefully
not.
just
No,
comfortable
Joey, why do I
pajamas.
wear pajamas?
Because you're cold. Oh, well, really? Why you don't? Why
Yeah, I don't care.
Was this discussed on the show?
Exactly. See? I know he knows.
Is he gonna listen? Is
I
Mike
know.
gonna
Please,
listen?
he doesn't know what I'm up to. Yes, of course I wear pajamas. If you sleep naked, you're never going to sleep. I don't have time for that at work. Yeah, so see, we go. So
We can curse on the show. We can talk Pajamas, lingerie. We can talk about anything. Hey, we are having far too much fun here getting to know Stephanie and Joey from the Suncoast View. If you want to get to know them a little bit further, stay tuned for rapid fire questions fueled by food and beer.
Hey, I'm Stephanie Roberts.
And I'm Joey Panek.
And we are the co-hosts of Suncoast View.
And this is Rapid Fire.
10 random questions, 10 specific answers, nothing off limit. This is Rapid Fire, fueled by food and beer. What's your pet peeve?
People who pick their nose.
People who shoot down dinner suggestions without offering another one.
Rude. In school, what class did you absolutely hate?
Math.
Break down the elemental components of energy on a single constant K rate and extrapolate for each of them. 14 galactic convergences took the Sentinel Prime expedition receiving.
Jim.
What's up? I'm Kenny Powers. I'll be your new PE teacher until Coach Booth's back is fixed.
Do you remember what you ate for breakfast?
Yes, same thing every day. Yogurt and oatmeal.
Oh, yeah. An egg sandwich.
Besides jump, what's the worst advice you've ever been given?
You shouldn't go into broadcast.
Okie dokie.
My mom said, always be honest in your relationships.
Well, now that you're a little bit older, I can tell you that's a crock.
In your opinion, which accent is the coolest?
Chicago.
To the dynasty in progress, that is. Stop balls. Stop balls. We have the Ming dynasty on the run, my friend.
Oh, Italian. Yeah.
And today we do the Italian accent. In Italiano, we pronounce everything.
Are we alone in the universe? Do aliens exist?
No. They're there somewhere. I don't want to see them though.
Yeah, I agree. We are not alone, and they are. Yeah, they exist. Absolutely.
Does pineapple belong on a pizza?
No.
Yeah, if you like it. Yeah.
Let's just agree to disagree.
No, you're wrong.
Who's your favorite Seinfeld character?
Never saw the show. I know. Don't even start on me. Don't even start on me. I was busy raising children. But I knew a couple lines. Soup Nazi.
No soup for you!
Kramer just for his entrances.
If you got a new dog today, what would you name it? Fluffy? Baby Chico? Turbo? Felipe?
Oh God, I want a new dog so bad. That's a tough one. Potentially Kirk. I'm in love with Kirk Herbstreit.
I like human names, so it'd be Dominic or Nicholas, because they both have the potential for a lot of nicknames.
What topic could you talk about forever? Mine's food and beer.
Any of them.
It's true.
It's true. It's true. Oh, AI, and I think everybody wants to kill me. Because of it.
I'm not interested in your AI.
About to do the first plunge into an active volcano. Let's send it.
So Brad said that he doesn't wear pajamas, but he will be wearing pajamas soon at the Jammies and Justice event for Team Court.
Oh, that's a good one. We love Team Court. We've had them on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're great.
We've had them on too. We're gonna swap guests a lot. We're gonna watch the Suncoast View. We're gonna pull some of those people in.
I mean, we have always said if anybody wants to know what's happening in the area, that's what you do. Keep up on our social media. We post all our segments, even if you don't sit there and watch them all. Scroll through, look at all the titles, know what's happening in town.
That's all anybody has time for these days.
I get it, though. I get it. I mean, we're trying to be a resource.
Have you guys taken the tour at Teen Court?
I've not taken the tour.
It's pretty cool. It's eye-opening. So we took the guests up on the opportunity to go over. Felipe and I did.
Yeah,
and we did the tour, and when we watched the mock trial, and it is really cool. It's a very worthwhile.
Yeah, that's good
I didn't
to know.
have to do the tour because I had done the tour as a teen. So
you did it.
Oh, yeah,
part of Teen
I
Court.
had to go through that process.
It's been around for a while.
I was surprised. Trey actually enjoyed it. Trey doesn't enjoy it very much. You know what I mean? So
Nice.
I couldn't believe it. But it was super interesting. But this is a bit of a self-serving question. But where do you find all your guests? How do you source them? You know, how do you keep that stream of interesting people coming on from the Suncoast?
We read
everywhere. Yeah, we read.
We're
everything.
old-fashioned. We read everything.
We social media for the purposes of finding guests, and just if it's a weekend and or before bed and you're just scrolling through and we're like, oh, that might be good. Let me email that.
Yeah, I never stop looking. It's kind of a problem. That's the one downside of the job is you're never not working. You're always thinking, who could come on? Will they be good on the show? Should we do this?
It's the
it
upside
never leaves
too,
my
though.
brain.
It's the
I agree.
upside too.
It's one of the differences. I know the folks that were journalists before, like Stephanie, the news folks that came onto our show, the big difference that I've heard from all of them is you didn't go to bed when you were in news. You didn't go worry the night before. Oh, what stories am I going to cover? Or what's the weather? What's the weather forecast going to be like tomorrow that I have to do? And in our show, it is like, no, it's all pre-planning. So you have to get it. But also when we go out, and I'm glad you're in Sarasota now. When we go out and about in Publix, I get stopped. Hey, I know somebody that might be great on the show or whatever. And I don't say no to anybody when they say hello. Like, we'll consider everybody.
Sure.
At the end of every show, you should ask your guest who you should have on next.
Okay, I did that on social media for the first couple of years, and I realized everyone just chooses themselves. Yeah.
Well, so we do it. We do it at the end. Well, I'm going to tease it for you now, so you guys can think. You guys have a laundry list of guests, but we ask every guest, who would you recommend to have on the podcast?
Yeah,
so we're cheating a little bit by giving you the heads up, but you guys have such a Rolodex of guests. I want you to really pick the very best ones.
I think we forgot last episode when me and Trey were running it.
Oh, see? I don't show up for one episode.
No, all episodes are.
I like sitting over here. I don't like sitting over there. You know, I'd rather be the color commentary here.
Yeah. What would you say to somebody that is looking to get into broadcast journalism? Because we've talked a lot about the goods and the bads, but you guys have both had a pretty good experience for a little while. 30 years is quite a long time to be in broadcast journalism. What would you say to somebody looking to get into it?
I think you just have to be curious and hungry, you know? Like, our show's good because we pay attention to what's going on around us and in the community, and even we read social media and we read, you know, everything from, you know, the New York Times to New York Post to, you know, garbage. You know, we read everything, like funny, not funny.
Sure.
We joke that our feeds are curated very differently. Yeah. He comes up with some stories. I'm like, where do you get this?
Isn't that funny on social media? Like my feed, I'm like, this is probably what everyone's looking at.
No.
Have you seen that? And they're like, no, what are you talking about? I'm like, I see it 20 times a day. Why don't you see it?
Well, exactly. So, I mean, you know, we know that we curate different lists and things, but for anybody, you can't just walk in and look at it the 7 hours a day you're sitting at your desk or whatever, you know. I mean, we've run into that with some younger producers and people throughout the years. Like, do you read? You know? No. And they look like I have 7 heads. And we're like, reels?
I watch it on TikTok.
Yeah, well, and you know, you get some stuff from TikTok.
Sure.
We get content from TikTok. We get content from Reels.
I'm
But
not
it's
on
not the
TikTok.
only place we get it. I don't do TikTok either.
I will be, though, as soon as it's an American company here soon.
Okay, there you go. All right, that's a good
We're
theory.
trying to get,
you know what?
Are we getting capital P right now?
I think I might take you. I might join you with that.
That's more of a business issue than it is a capital P issue.
I think our data is just more safe here soon.
No, I think
Not that our
everybody
data
can
is-
understand that.
For me, it was a time suck issue. I don't need something else to suck time away from my life or my brain. But I'll be honest, now that my kids are out, I have a little more time. I'm starting to, you know, to think about having a life. Maybe I'll go to TikTok instead.
Just in time.
Well, I really just want to shop because that's what he does.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, he has a TikTok shop problem.
$25 billion is their market cap on the shop. Just to put it in perspective, Amazon's like, I think, you know, a quarter, 250 billion or something like that. But I mean, just to be a small piece of that 25 billion, and that's insane.
Yeah.
So I'm scared of TikTok shop myself, for sure.
Don't start because it's very hard to stop. Advice, you know, because Steph's news background, I mean, I came right into Suncoast View or more lifestyle stuff.
Sure.
But same thing, I would say be curious. And also, I noticed over the years, people that came and went on our show working with us, it was like the things you're talking about with, like in the break room, can be hot topics. Like there seemed to be such a disconnect between, all right, I have to go find hot topics, but then they would go talk to their friends for hours about, oh, did you see this? Or are you watching this show? Or, oh, did you know this? And it's like, well, no, that can be a hot topic too.
Right.
It's just
water cooler.
The thing that you're talking about is the thing that
everybody's talking about.
That's interesting because, you know, we're in a relatively small community, I would say. Sarasota, less than 1 million people between the two counties. I would think that who your friends are and who you talk to on a regular basis, you know, filters into the show and what you choose as content. How do you deal with that?
Different backgrounds and different. It's a pretty diverse group, you know.
Yeah, and we have there's the Stephanie and Linda and I are. There's different combinations of the hosts on each of the 5 days. And so some days, like Wind Down Wednesday, she was talking about with the girls, there are topics.
It's your day off, huh?
She's definitely, yeah. There's definitely days that Steph's going to put topics that are definitely more themed toward the ladies.
It's a dinner party. That's how we look at it. You know, on Tuesdays, Renee James Gilmore hosts.
I would
with
hate
us.
to have one of my dinner parties televised. Would not be good.
And like, she's born and raised in Newtown, so she has a completely different take on things, and boy does she want them brought to the forefront, because who else is doing it? You know, so on those days we get a little edgier, and I knew she was going to be pissed about the minimum wage. Not that it's going up, but that let's not think that's actually helping anybody. And I knew she was going to say that, and that's probably, you know, we cheat a little bit, is because I know what my co-hosts are going to say, because we've been together for so long. But that's okay. Get it on out there. You know, I like to serve it up and let somebody else deal with it.
Well, that's kind of the nature of the dynamics there, right? Like if you know this is a good T-ball, softball for Felipe or for Trey, you know, you're serving it up to put out some good content, right? It just makes sense. But we've done 119 episodes. How many episodes have you guys been on Suncoast View?
I don't do much math.
So. What is it? Well,
we're in year 11. We just hit 11. And there's 52 weeks of the year. Let's assume
250 times 11.
Let's use 50. So that's 550.
We don't go on hiatus.
It's like, we call it round up to 600 episodes.
No, your math is
5,500.
50 times 5 is 250 a year, right?
Yeah, okay.
250 times 11.
2,500 plus that 550.
Yeah.
I told you my math is off. 3,100.
We'll just call it 3,000 plus episodes.
A lot of episodes.
Okay, so
we didn't touch on one thing though. What's the coverage area? Because I would imagine that may have changed.
No, not really.
Oh, it's changed as different. A lot of people that had one cable, I think Frontier, lost us as an ABC station. So some
you mean
of our
Charlotte?
neighbors,
We gave up on Charlotte County?
No, like there's pockets.
Not that we gave up. I mean, it's just it's not. They're not watching.
No. There's pockets of, like, I think Manatee County that lost
Frontier.
us. Yeah,
I don't think we ever stopped worrying about it though. Like didn't change what we do. We focus on Sarasota Manatee. Okay. We flirt with Pinellas. Don't talk a ton about Tampa just because they get enough coverage other places. And I don't really feel like, I mean, I drove back and forth every day, so I know all about Tampa, but I don't think people who are going to Tampa have a set reason they're going. St. Pete, I think, is pretty easy.
They're just
and
so very different. Too.
Yeah, they are. Tampa was a little hard to incorporate just into the vibe. St. Pete, we certainly talk about because it's just over the bridge. We do get sponsors from there that want to do it. We talk about the theater there.
Yeah, because that's something you can do.
We might mention an event there. If things are slow here and I feel like people are looking for something to do on a weekend where there isn't a ton of events going on, we'll mention something in St. Pete.
But we make sure every Hot Topics block starts with a Suncoast local
Florida
topic, always. Yeah.
But I would just think in the last 10 years, you've seen a lot of growth in, obviously we talk a lot about Northport and Welland Park. But then you also talk about, look at what's going on in Riverview.
Oh, absolutely.
And those areas that are kind of
Parish. I mean, one of my close friends moved up to Parish and is one of our most loyal viewers.
Parish is in the heart of our concentric circle, 100%. Right. Yeah, absolutely. All of Manatee County.
Given the fact that you've done 3,000 episodes, let's call it, give or take, right? Anywhere from 500 to 3,000. 3,000 episodes, you've learned a lot about keeping it entertaining, keep it engaging. You know, sometimes depending on the guest, the topic, it can be difficult, right? What are just kind of some things that you guys do during the show, not prep wise, because again, you guys have the unfair advantage there with plenty of opportunity to prep. And I say that, but it's really not. You're prepping, 5 shows a week, so it's like a lot. But what are some ways you keep it engaging during that episode?
I mean, that's what makes us good at our job. Our job is to lift up an interviewee, whether they're good or not. You know, I mean, we get duds. Let's be real. You know, now people freeze up. People decide they're uncomfortable. People forget everything they're going to say. So then you just kind of play with them.
We do our research. I think that's something I've definitely got learned from you and Linda in the early years is you research that guest because if they do freeze up, you know what to throw them to get them on track.
You've read the website.
When you're limited. And and I think I've also learned from you all, like, call something out. If something is going to be unusual for the viewer or they're going to notice it, you don't wait to call it out. Like if someone's sitting there in a bear costume, don't let 4 minutes go by and say
the man spreading or the slouching.
Maybe not that, but because we want to be like polite to the guests.
Of course.
But yeah, like if there's something that the viewer notices or something that we definitely should be bringing up because
you can't assume they know.
Yeah.
You can't assume they know.
Yeah. So always be looking at it from the viewer's point of view. What are they going to get from this interview? Oh, like a lot of times, I hate to say it, but like people just want to come on and promote galas. And we have a strict no gala policy because number one, if you start doing one, you have to do all of them, and that's just not fair.
Yeah, no,
but
that
also,
go well.
We have a strict no realtor policy.
No, it was the same concept.
That we break from time to time.
Well, no, listen, we'll break it if the reason they're coming on is not to promote themselves being a residential realtor.
Yeah, no, I get it.
We have a lot of realtors in Sarasota.
I've heard there are a few.
I'd love to have them all on.
Yeah, we'd have about 4,000 episodes.
A lot of realtors know a lot of people with roofs.
You know, that stems from the whole thing. You know, how can everybody be the number one realtor? I don't understand that. I never will understand that.
Ask their mom.
It's just,
right?
you know.
They are to their mom.
I'm number one to my mom, too.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, not to take anything away from the realtors.
I might be number 2.
Well, JJ's come up in the ranks. You know, his brother.
You mentioned when things get slow around here. Is that a thing of the past? Because I feel like there's always something going. I remember growing up.
But it's still, I think July and August are different. There's not as many events because, let's be real, you don't really want to be outside. So that knocks off a lot of it. You know, people are traveling, families are traveling.
Our arts, because the arts are such a big part of our content, and that drops off a little. Not like it used to.
Not like it used to.
Snowbirds leaving and things
but remember,
like that.
it used to, because you lived here. I mean, it used to just, there was nothing.
Yeah.
All the theaters just closed up in the summer. And
Some of the restaurants have taken breaks this September, we've noticed. You know, I noticed
one too.
And it
we're on
happens.
vacation. I'm like, the whole restaurant?
Yeah, but I actually.
Where do they all go?
But you know what? That makes sense. They're solopreneurs. These are, you know, single.
Can't get away with that in New York City, but downtown Sarasota, you want to shut down, go for it.
I think it's okay for a week or so. I think people are like, especially this year, you know, it's been a long year. And season here, they work 7 days a week, 18 hours a day. Like we talk to the restaurant people all the time, and season kicks their butts because they know they have to be there for everybody all the time. So I think it's fine.
Yeah, the percentage of guests that we have to reach out and find goes up a little bit in the summer.
We have to get a little more creative.
Yeah. But it's all there, you know.
Love it. Well, I think that, you know, there's a unique perspective from you guys because you are getting a lot of these restaurants on, a lot of these, you know, events, and you're getting kind of the first look at all of these things and attending them. So what are some things that are happening in the very near future that we could enlighten our guests on? Or restaurants, things like that?
I mean, there's wine dinners all the time here that if you enjoy fine food and good wine, these chefs are so flipping talented. Yeah. Like they're not just putting together food.
Stephanie loves wine.
And serving a wine. I do like wine, but I mean, I'm not a massive foodie per se. I never appreciated the quality and the talent that a chef has.
With
and
the wine dinners,
because they're not working with a menu where so you sort of have to appeal to more masses. They don't care who they're appealing to. They are out on creative corner.
Yeah, you get to see
what they really can do, and they're like talking about stuff, and they'll preview them in our kitchen, and I'm like, how do you even know to do that? And they're like, I just tried it one day and it kind of was good, so here we are. Like, you know, I don't possess that kind of creativity or those talents, so it's like that's really cool.
And is that Michael's on East
That's I mean, I got a huge list.
Where's the other wine?
Madison's, Michael's on East, Sage. I mean, smaller guys too.
Colocan
does it. They're everywhere, and every price point. Like you don't have to be rich to do these things. You know, I feel like people feel that way sometimes about events.
And we had hot topics that were just a couple days apart from each other. But the first one was like the number of restaurants we have per capita is so high here in the Suncoast area, and we're like, oh, that's great. And then a few days later, we did a story about a bunch of restaurants that unfortunately closed over the summer. And I had this aha moment, maybe it's obvious, but I had this aha moment on the couch of like, whoa, that's probably why they're closing, because we have so many. So it's like, we one of the things we say a lot on our show is if you have a favorite place, go support them.
Often, yeah.
Or buy a gift card if you can't.
You got to go out.
Because if you want them to stay open.
If you want a vibrant community, you got to support it, and that means you do have to go out and do
100%. And hopefully my wife doesn't watch this episode because she wants to go out too much, of course.
Yes.
And with the kids, it's like
it's hard.
She likes long dinners, like 6 and 3-year-old boys. She likes to sit for like 2 hours, and the boys are just restless. And I'm like, hon, there's been 2 tables sat next to us already. Like turned it over twice, but it's like one more espresso martini. Right?
Oh yes.
Well, I'm glad you pointed out the quality of the restaurants, because I think in a community like this where a lot of people are from somewhere else, we get a lot of negative commentary. Oh, we don't have places like Chicago or New York.
I got this one. So people from up north in Chicago, everything's so miserable up there. They got to try to grasp onto one thing. Oh, but the pizza's not the same. Who gives a shit? It's cold. There's snow. It's miserable. So they try to grasp onto like one little memory
something
that
to bitch about.
Capo Pazzo gets 5 stars from all the New Yorkers that go there.
Because all of our chefs here are from somewhere else. Yeah. Too. So it's like
I think that's good to point that out.
We're such a destination.
That is a big pet peeve of mine.
Yeah,
that's funny.
If everything's better up there, go back.
You go back.
Yeah.
So what's a big event upcoming? You guys are preparing. You guys are getting ready for not necessarily you're attending, but like you guys are highlighting on the show.
Today we talked about
happening?
Peak is coming up in a few weeks.
The heck is that?
Who's that benefit? Charities for Children. That is a very high-end, I would say, that's coming up too. Yeah. High-end society brunch on the Van Wezel lawn. Where that's
why I don't know about it.
Exactly.
I can't wear the shirt.
No. The ladies wear their finest, and they wear big hats. It's called Picnic sur le Bay.
Okay.
So there is a high end here. Tickets are expensive. They will raise tens of thousands.
It's so high end they can't make it in English.
You think you get a date? We can go.
We get a big hat. Yeah. I know. And art season is kicking off. So like all the theaters and arts organizations are getting ready to
opening shows.
Yeah. And then it's just nonstop. It's like 7 nights a week. So that's exciting.
So I got to ask you, I used to hear this all the time when I first moved here. People used to say we have the most working artists in the country per capita, second in New York City. Was that ever true, or
I don't know
remotely
if
close?
I think it's very high. I mean, I don't know if that's a great bragging right that I don't
I'd love to be able to brag about it. But
I mean, we have so many at any given time. Florida Studio Theater has 5 stages under 3 roofs, or 2. So
you would be the one to ask.
Yeah,
I don't know.
How many roofs do they have?
Somebody said roof.
Oslo Rep, and those Urbanite. Those are just a couple of our West Coast Black Theater troupe, and then there's
Venice. I mean, there's tons.
Then the community theaters too. Mm-hmm. Like there's so much happening right now.
I heard Florida Studio Theater is building a new building. I know one of the guys on that project. It's very ambitious.
They have 5 stages right now, and I think they're adding maybe 3 more.
Wow!
So like those are jobs. So that's awesome. Yeah, and everyone who comes to see those shows is going out for a drink before or after. And then the artists that are going to live here are going to...
Yeah, the people that come to work those shows end up buying houses here because they love it so much.
And then they're sitting on your podcast. I think it's just us people are great.
How about that?
So we're talking about Sarasota, which I love. We get to talk about Sarasota a whole lot more with y'all than we do a lot of our guests because we're talking about their business and so on and so forth. And we'll get to Trey's question, but before, and then no cop-out answers here. Number 1 favorite restaurant in town. And I don't like that question normally, but... because you guys are introduced to so many, I'm going to make you pick.
That's a tough one.
I know it's a tough one.
You got to give them a slide out. Maybe their favorite right now.
Sure, yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, that's always
as our tastes tend to ebb and flow, right?
Mr. Lower P over there.
All right, so I love Mexican food.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Cola Con.
I love
yeah.
Con too.
You can't take that.
That's why I talked first.
There you go.
Well, I worked with Sage, so if I don't say Sage, I'm a dick. But so I'm gonna disqualify.
I was gonna say, and if you say Sage, I'm gonna make fun of you.
I'm going to disqualify them.
Sure.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I worked for them. I don't know. This is random, but like, I love Origin Pizza.
Okay.
Because I think Rami's great.
You've said that. That wouldn't surprise me. You've said that.
A toasted mango for breakfast.
Oh, now he's giving multiple.
Now you're giving all the new Rosemary
because
locations.
he's thinking about
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
He's thinking about breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Breakfast,
And where
lunch,
do
and
you DoorDash your dessert from when you're drunk?
Where don't I? Duval's
That's
bread
the one I was
pudding.
thinking.
There you go. I love it.
Duval's is often slept on, I think.
It's got a great
It's a
happy
great
hour.
restaurant, great location, great seafood.
My dad got engaged there. Well,
Did he really?
Yeah, he got engaged. Now he's married, but
Well,
he got engaged there.
They'll pick you up in their shuttle
When they
too.
first opened.
Yeah, they have a shuttle.
VW bus thing.
Yeah, that's a 3 mile
That's cool.
radius.
So then why are you door dashing it? Just
I
get
know.
in the shuttle.
Well, I don't want to go there. I want to lay on the couch. If they can
In your
walk
pajamas?
if they can walk in and put the bread pudding in my mouth. Yeah.
Oh man, they might. If they have a shuttle, they might just shuttle somebody over there for you. All right. Well, with that, we'll get to Trey's question here. It's a question we ask every guest. I'm sure you've seen it if you've watched the show, and I think you have just because you do your research, right? So at least you've seen the clips. Go ahead, Trey.
Tom and Law and Trey Martell want to know, what do you think about roundabouts? Do you love them or do you hate them?
Hate them.
And have you done a segment on them?
We've done this hot topics a lot.
Numerous.
I love them, and I hate anyone else who's on one while I'm on it.
You love the
Because
roundabout.
I drive them correctly.
Sure.
And I do, and I'll cut your ass right off.
That's what you're supposed to do.
You can't drive a roundabout correctly alone. Because if anybody in the roundabout is driving incorrectly, then you all drive.
Well, that's the problem, though. Someone screws up, gets in front of me, and I'm like, all right, buddy, now we got to go around you and
we
cut
know
one off
good
on the
cop,
way.
bad cop here, okay? We see.
He's way nicer
We may
than
have
I
just
am.
switched hats, but yes, yeah.
No.
We are going to have a roundabout named after us one of these days. So
Yeah.
the Sarasota SpeaX roundabout.
Yes.
I would think if we put our power together, we can even just call it like the Suncoast SpeaX roundabout. You know, we'll just co-name it,
You could
co-brand it.
broadcast live from the center of the roundabout.
Don't give him ideas, please.
Whoa.
Right? They're voting on all the art. Why can't you guys be the art?
Because that's the one day someone drives right through the center of the roundabout and forgets it's there.
Right, someone gets
And her name
distracted, there's a
starts with
big
an M.
accident, and then we're on the hook.
All right. Well, I let him cheat a little bit, Felipe. So you can ask him the question. I think they're going to have.
Well, no.
their answers
I
ready.
want to tease out the roundabout question because
Okay, sure.
the reason we ask about roundabouts, it's a fun and somewhat unique way to ask about how people feel about growth and change on the Suncoast. Right, the roundabouts are a very apparent physical indicator that this is not the same place it was 10 years ago.
Right.
So I'd love to hear your thoughts on how Sarasota's changed, how it's grown. You see all the online complaining about growth and about overcrowding and about traffic. I'm just curious if you guys interact with that issue the way
Constantly.
we do. Yeah.
Absolutely, constantly. I mean, I think you just either are pro or not keeping a small town vibe or development. I'm a big city girl. I came from Chicago. I grew up in suburbs. I like amenities. I like all the restaurants, all the shopping. I mean, traffic sucks, but traffic sucks everywhere.
It's because of the roundabouts.
Yeah, it is. But traffic sucks everywhere, you know? I don't think that necessarily is an anti-development thing. I mean, we can build bigger roads. That would be nice.
We're trying.
And they're working on it, you know? But it's like, do you want to just close the door behind the last person here? That's not
No,
a
I think that's a
reasonable
good
way
point.
to be.
Yeah.
The old
It's
pull
not-
up the ladder thing, right?
Yeah, it's not
a luxury
reasonable.
to live in a place that isn't busy. I mean, that's, you can't assume that that's just going to.
But I assume it's not busy because it sucks to live there. Like like if you want a
If
good
this was so great,
community-
there'd be more people.
But the people that say like, well, I lived here forever and it was quiet when I moved here. Well, congratulations on those years. Those are past. Like,
Right, the secret's
unless you
out.
buy up all the property around you, then that's.
Move to Northport.
Joey
Quiet
walks
down
into
there.
a restaurant, there's nobody eating, and he's like, this is such a luxurious
I love
restaurant.
this.
There's no one eating here.
Exactly. Then I better go in there every
Then they
single
serve you
night
the
to
cat.
keep them alive. Yeah. I was very pro growth because I also was like, I'm one of the young people in Sarasota, and only fairly recently have I put the brakes on that a little bit just because of the flooding. Like, I'm just concerned about that.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
The flooding is a new one that I think we need to pay a lot more attention to, and we were kind of shown that in dramatic fashion during that last year. But I have a theory, and I think I like to point to Waterside. If we actually build amenities where people live, where they can work, where they can play, they don't need to get on the road. the same road to all go to the same places,
Right.
right? It takes cars off the road. I think we need to be doing more of that. I've been saying it like a broken record. And
And I think that's true.
I've never heard him say that, by the way.
My dad lives in Lakewood Ridge.
119 episodes.
Refuses to look. Like, if he thinks if he has to cross 75 to come west, it's too far from Lakewood Ranch.
I agree.
So, but that helps though, right? That theory, because there are enough things out there. So what's it to you if they put in 5,000 more homes in Lakewood Ranch? They're all staying out there anyway.
Right, exactly.
You know?
And, I don't like to use the word development because it gets all the hackles raised, but essentially that's what it's about. It's about smarter development, not no development.
Yeah.
Right. I agree with that.
Let's we're
what
not
Joey's
afraid to
referring
go-
to is the infrastructure, though. The infrastructure's got to be
that's
there.
what I'm saying. That's a new
That's
issue.
called smarter development.
Yeah,
though.
that's a
Like
new issue.
I would think a civil engineer understands water runoff, and therefore we should not be floating
Somebody
away.
did. It just got buried under.
Right.
I think that's more of a function of we don't want to spend the money until there's a problem. It's kind of like when you have these banned intersections or, that we have the roundabouts, nobody does anything until someone dies, sadly. We shouldn't get to that point.
Right.
But we've got great restaurants. I live in Southgate, and if we don't want to deal with parking, maybe on a busy season Friday or Saturday night, but even Weber, there's 4, 5 great restaurants in that little plaza that I wouldn't normally go think about.
Right, but you're trying to
your
avoid
point,
driving around.
Yeah, I'll stay in my neighborhood and support the local places then if I don't want to deal
So you're at the Lazy Parrot often, or the Parrot, I should say.
love they turned a bank
That's
into
great.
a beach bar that's nowhere
got
near a beach.
good live
I'm
music.
A fan.
How great is that? When that was developing, that was one of my, man, that thing's never going to last. And then it's
because nothing lasted around there. That place was notorious for turning them over, but they have great live music. I think that's one of their biggest things.
I mean,
It's always packed.
They bucked the system. Yeah.
Veer Hill.
I might hit that on the way home now. All right. Well, Felipe, now do you want to land the plane?
I think I'm satisfied.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. So you've been on Sarasota SpeaX. You see what we do here. Thank you for coming, by the way.
Thanks.
Who do you know who we may not know who Sarasota needs to know? Who can we invite on Sarasota SpeaX next?
Boom. He's got that question down, doesn't he?
All right, I have 2. Do you just want one?
No, we want two.
We
No,
want
I
it
want
all.
both of yours.
We
You
want
can
it
take
all.
mine too. He's better at this.
All right. The first one is Jefferson Charles, who's opening Jefferson Fit in your
Yes,
building.
I've reached out.
Great guy, and I love what he's doing, and I think and it's a short commute for him to get up here.
Yeah,
Just
no
take
kidding.
the elevator up. And the other one is Kathy Black, who is a professor at USF, who I have a non-sexual crush on, obviously. She is a professor of aging studies, and I saw her speak at an event once, and I was like, I'll stay here all night if she wants to keep talking. She's so smart, and I feel like she represents what we deal with we have a large aging population here, but then we're trying to keep the young people here, and how do we make everybody happy? She's brilliant.
Wow.
I'm really happy that she's teaching at a university here because her mind is brilliant. I could spend all day with her. I think we booked her on the show, and I was like, can I give her 3 segments? And everybody else is like, we don't normally carry over guests. I'm like, I know, but come on.
She'll be interesting.
That's a good one because we've had a lot of people in the wellness space, and some of them we've talked about maybe the idea that Sarasota could one day be a blue zone where people are living just these long, extraordinary lives and being active. So I would be curious to hear her thoughts on that.
She talks about cool stuff like where your garage faces in a community will be a good indicator of whether or not you will interact with your neighbors.
That's that new urbanism stuff, like Dwayne, who came down here and did that whole study.
She's incredible.
That's interesting stuff.
She's so interesting. Yeah. I want to go to dinner and on vacation with her.
Which way should your
All right,
garage
Stephanie,
face?
have you had enough time to think yet?
Out.
Yeah. So, all right,
We'll give you
'cause-
just one.
Just because I'm hungry, I think you need to talk to some of the chefs in town. So my personal favorite, based on, I think, who'd fit into your vibe, would be Chef Paul Madison. He's been around for 25, 30 years in town.
Of course. He's been mentioned before. We'll get him on.
Okay, no, I think he'd enjoy your vibe, and he has a great, I think, perception of how things have changed, how he has changed, how the pockets of towns are like. His 3 restaurants couldn't be more different, and the clientele couldn't be more different, and the stuff he has to deal with as a result couldn't be more different. So it's very interesting.
Cool.
I think you'd enjoy him.
Well, listen, thank you guys so much for coming on. We'll see you Monday, but thank you guys so much for
that'll be
coming on.
great.
This is enjoyable. It's always good to learn from some professionals. So thank you. And
Thank you.
We enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Me too.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.